Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mercedes and today I'm going to try to complete a 24-hour reading challenge. I've been seeing a lot of people complete a 24-hour reading challenge recently. Also, a side note, it's raining outside and I don't know if you guys can hear the rain. Here, let me show you. In my heart and soul, this is the weather that I want it to be 24/7. I've been seeing people try to do a 24-hour reading challenge since the beginning of my reader journey, and way back in the day I was like, there's no way that I would be able to do that. But now in my current reader status, I feel like I need it to at least try, because can I even call myself a reader if I haven't tried to complete a 24-hour reading challenge? The answer is yes. You are still very much so a reader, but I'm being dramatic. It's for dramatic effect. So I decided that it was time that I finally complete or try to attempt a 24-hour reading challenge. And challenging it was. It was so difficult to do, and I don't want to jump the gun here because I have a whole video ahead. I did vlog the experience. I don't know if there's specific rules and guidelines that you have to follow for the 24-hour reading challenge. I don't even think it's an official challenge. I just think it's something that people who are a little delusional decide to do. I think it's one of those things that you make up your own rules, and the only rule that I had for myself is if I wasn't reading, I was going to stop my timer. So I was timing myself on my iPad, and if I was sleeping or if I needed a little break, I stopped the timer. Now I limited the number of breaks that I took, and I was trying to complete the 24-hour reading challenge realistically in 32 hours so I could get some sleep squeezed in there too. But again, we're not running the timer if I'm not reading. I won't yap anymore about it. I'll just go ahead and start to roll the footage of me beginning the 24-hour reading challenge. In order to keep track of time, I am going to have my stopwatch going on my iPad so I can know if I have been reading for 24 hours. If I take a break or if I go to sleep, I'm going to stop the timer. We are going to be reading for 24 hours. Let's begin. You remember when I said I didn't know anything about this book? Oh, good Lord, girl, what? I just finished chapter 1. This is all I have read. What? What is happening here? I'm currently an hour and 16 minutes and 30 seconds into Tinder is the Flesh. I'm reading it a lot faster than I thought I was going to. I'm still very unsettled. I think this whole book is just putting a lot of things into question, and it's going to be one of those books that is just going to make you think, and I'm uncomfortable. What in the world? What in the world? Yeah, I started this challenge off with Tinder is the Flesh by Augustina Bazterica, and still to this day, I don't know how to review this book. It's designed to make you think, and what I mean when I say that is this book makes you think of social constructs. It makes you think of the way that our world operates on a consumer level, and it just makes you think what would you do if you were in this situation? Although I hope that we are never in this situation, and if we are, Lord, take me out, please. This is a dystopian horror novel. When you're reading this book, you're pretty much going on the journey with the main male character, Marco, and you're following along with him, and you understand that he's in a really tough spot, and you are thinking what would you do if you were in Marco's shoes? And then the ending happens. We started this challenge off with quite a bang. We sure did. But then we moved on to another book. I feel like I really need to take a break to digest that book, but there's no time to break because we are on a 24-hour reading challenge and I'm trying to get in as many books as I possibly can, so there is no time for a break. Here's the thing, I'm going to read this book next. This is Shadows by Kristen Proby. I originally found this book whenever I was at Readers Take Denver. I didn't know anything about this book or the author, and I haven't had a chance to read it. I did get it back in April, I think Readers Take Denver was, and the thing that drew me to it was it says it's a Bayou magic novel, and I asked the author for a little bit more information, and she said that this book is about witches and it takes place in New Orleans, which New Orleans is like right down the road from me, and I was like, say less. I have been on a hunt for another romantic suspense, and that is what this is. If I listen to it on audio, it says it's 4 hours and 30 minutes, and that is at 1.5 speed. Listen to this book on audio, which I love listening to books on audio because there's so many things you can do while listening to an audiobook that you can't do whenever you have to sit down and read the physical book. For example, I would never be able to make s'mores while physically reading the book. That sounds like a challenge within itself. Someone make a s'more while physically reading the book. Well, I'll tell you what, I was able to do it while listening to the audiobook. Now, granted, when I got the supplies to make s'mores, I kind of forgot that you need access to fire to roast your marshmallows. And I was really trying to come up with a solution here, and even though one of my solutions was really questionable and I could have burned my house down, trial and error. You never know what's going to work until you try. And then I had the bright idea of just broiling it in my oven, but like I didn't want to leave it in my oven. I wanted to like still have that toasting a marshmallow experience, so I did sit on my kitchen floor broiling my marshmallow. But I'll tell you what, it worked. S'mores slap, okay? I've been eating a s'more every single day. It's like you are an adult and you forget that like you can eat anything that you want, and I have been eating s'mores every single day. Also, what you can't do while listening to an audiobook is play this game. I don't even, what is the name? The skee ball? Is it skee ball? I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I found this little mini game at Barnes and Noble. They have that section of the bookstore that has like all those mini things, and I've always gone over there and looked, but I've never bought anything until I said, you know what? I'm just gonna buy it and see what it's like. And then this happened. Yeah. My husband likes to scare me.
Looked at me
every time I listen to the audiobook, and I will say that he's probably not doing it on purpose. I feel like there is a part of him that knows when I'm listening to an audiobook, I got that noise canceling on and I can't hear anything, and he knows that if he sneaks up on me, he's going to scare me. Anyway, back to the book. An hour and 40 minutes into the audiobook, and so far it's pretty interesting. It's definitely not what I thought it was. Every time I think witch book, I think like the witches are like on the run for their life, but this is actually different because there is a serial killer who's going around hunting women, and the ghost of these women are contacting the witches in the area, trying to get them to help solve this crime that's happening. By the end of this book, I actually quite enjoyed it. This is also the first book in a trilogy, so there's 2 other books that follow this book, and I believe it's just following different characters. I don't believe it's continuing the plot of this book. I don't know. I do plan on reading the other 2 books this fall, so I'll definitely let you guys know. If you are looking for a book that has like that witchy vibe to it, for sure check this out. I thought this was super unique in the aspect that it's the witchy vibes meets true crime. So the ghost of the women being hunted down by a serial killer are contacting this witch who also happens to be like the girlfriend of a detective in the area. She's almost like this middle person trying to like find out who this serial killer is. I would recommend this book, and the audiobook was quite fun. At this point in the challenge, I was getting pretty sleepy. I started this challenge for some reason at like 5 p.m. and I was like, now or never. And I believe at this point it was like 11 p.m. or maybe midnight. Also at this point my husband fell asleep in our bedroom. Like, yeah, is my bedroom also my office? Yeah. Like, am I filming right now in my bedroom? Yes. And so, like, I couldn't film my update without my husband snoring so loud in the background. So this is my little charades that I'm trying to tell you that it's late, I'm tired, I should go to bed, but I'm not. I'm going to start the third book, which was It Never Was by Ivy Darling. Yeah, girl, that didn't last long. And I know I was tired at this point because I was reading for about 40 minutes and I was only able to make it, I think, 10 or 15 pages into the book, which is a telltale sign that I just need to take a little break. And so I did go to sleep. I'm not me if I'm tired. I cannot function off of no sleep. I am not one of those people, okay? If I have to wake up early the next day, I'm panicking the night before, trying to force myself to fall asleep on time so I can have at least 6 or 7 hours of sleep. That's all I need, girl. And so here's the next day. Good morning, besties. All right, we gotta get back on track with this 24-hour reading challenge. If I have any hope of being done by today, I need to read right now, immediately. As you can tell, I'm still in bed, but there is no time to waste because it's almost 10 a.m. So I have to start right now. I want to continue reading It Never Was by Ivy Darling, and I plan to. However, I want to listen to another audiobook, and I want to start listening to it right now because it's the first thing in the morning and I have things I need to do and I can do those things while listening to an audiobook. Ooh, I know what I'll do. I'm going to listen to A Welcome Reunion. This is a novella that follows after The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry, and I have been meaning to get around to reading it, so it is available on audio. It is 2 hours and 10 minutes, but if I listen to it at 1.5 speed, it is an hour and 30 minutes, which is perfect. And it's also free on Audible. I don't know if that's just because I have an Audible subscription or if the book is just free, because Lucinda Berry is that girl and she would do something like that. Where's my iPad? Ugh, where's my headphones? Yeah, girl, I like rolled right out of bed and I was like, need to conquer the day. And this was a perfect time to go ahead and listen to The Welcome Reunion by Lucinda Berry. This is the novella that follows after A Perfect Child, so you do have to read A Perfect Child before you listen or read The Welcome Reunion. And this book was a short listen and it was perfect. It was perfect. I'm happy that I finally got around to reading it. I think it wraps up this little world so well. It was all deserved. It was all deserved in my mind. But at this point, I wasn't quite ready to sit down and read a physical book. I still had things that I needed to do around the house. I do need to go clean my kitchen though, because it is getting quite disgusting, and I'm going to listen to another little novella. This is an Audible original, which means it's only available on Audible in the audio form, and I've never heard of this book before. I've just been scrolling on Audible looking for something to listen to that's not like super long, because later tonight I am going to finish the book that I'm actually reading. The video itself, it's 2 hours and 30 minutes, but if I listen to it at 1.5 speed, it'll be around an hour and 45 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and start the timer and get to cleaning / listening. Just finished the audiobook. I'm at 11 hours and 40 minutes. The audiobook was pretty good. This book was fun to listen to. I think it's perfect if you're looking for a thriller or a suspense read and you don't necessarily want or have the time to start like a full-length book. This is a perfect novella. I think the ending was just so satisfying, and it really teaches you not to cross people. Even people who you think that you can bully, think twice about it, because sometimes people got crazy in them that they are waiting to release. And then finally, I was able to sit down and read the last book, It Never Was by Ivy Darling. And I'm going to pick up where I left off last night of It Never Was by Ivy Darling. I will tell you right now that my brain is mush, girl. It's mush. Like, especially if I'm trying to speak sentences out loud, I feel like the words I'm saying, they don't make sense. And I will tell you, at this point, my brain was mush. Like, at this point, I was like done for, but I was not going to quit. I had to keep going, and I have been wanting to read this book. It has been on my TBR, and I said I was going to read it, so damn it, I did. But I did forget to update. Oh my god, actually, to be completely honest, I think my timer is still running on my iPad from this challenge. When I finished this book, girl, I was done for it. I think I made it to like 20 hours is when I was like, I can't do this no more. I simply cannot read another book in this moment. The challenge is done. This is my best effort. I made it to 20 hours in the 24-hour reading challenge, and I forgot to stop the timer. This is a romance book that definitely leans on the more emotional side. There is a trigger warning at the beginning of this book, and I think it's very important that you check to make sure that none of those triggers are triggering for you, because Ivy didn't hold back when she was describing some of the scenes within this book. What I think was done really well about this book is that it felt real, especially when it came to the main female character, Ryan. I just wanted to scoop her up and give her a little hug, and her whole life was just thrown to the wolves, and she has been just trying to survive her whole life, and it's just like bad circumstance after bad circumstance, and she is doing her best to just make it through. I would overall give this book 4 stars, and I would recommend it, but please check your trigger warnings when it comes to this one. That was my attempt at the 24-hour reading challenge. My husband just came home. Should I hide? I'm gonna play dead.
She fell asleep. Or died. Or both.
How do you do both? As I was saying, this was definitely challenging, and I don't know if I would do it again. We know now that I completed this challenge for sure 5 days ago because I forgot to stop the timer. And I haven't read a book since, but it was fun. Now I can say that I did it. I don't know if I would do it ever again. I think there needs to be like a 24-hour reading challenge recovery kit. Because the way I doom scrolled TikTok after I finished this challenge, the way I sat in silence after I completed this challenge. Have you ever done a 24-hour reading challenge before? Are you interested in doing a 24-hour reading challenge? How many books do you think you would be able to read in 24 hours? I was able to get 3 books and 2 novellas in. Okay, well. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching my video and hanging out with me. This has been so much fun. Okay, bye. Love you.